Hello, welcome back to the Appraisal Doctor. This is Dr. Aria A. Wilson, PhD in Urban Planning, Certified Residential Appraiser. If it's your first time here on the Appraisal Doctor, welcome. And if you have any appraisal questions, know that you have come to the right place. Stick around and let's see what question will be answered today. Why is location so important in driving property values? That question can be answered from many angles, but today I'm going to talk about location and its effect on property values from the perspective of regression and progression. Okay, I know you're wondering, what am I talking about? Well, let's just look at the two. What is progression? What is regression? What am I talking about in relation to location and its effect on value? Well, let's keep it simple. We are going to be using an example that's residential. Now, if I am in a subdivision that has really high values and the location is well sought after, there's a high demand, the desirability is way up. If there are 50 properties in that subdivision and there are 2 that are not maintained, nothing has been done over the time period from which it was bought, it's basically in poor condition, it's not attractive. All the maintenance work that could have taken place did not take place because the property owner did not maintain the property physically. But it is located in a high income or a high value neighborhood or subdivision, to be specific. This property, if the values in the subdivision range between 200,000 and 250,000, it will not be affected greatly in the price point if it were to go on the market for sale. The law of progression speaks to one property being driven by the behavior of others. One property being influenced by its surroundings. So if everybody has great curb appeal, if everybody is taking care of their property, if the location is well sought after, then the desirability is there and there will be high demand. We have spoken many times on this channel about demand and supply. And with demand comes the ability to purchase. So demand is not only somebody desiring a property, but it's the desiring the property and having the ability, the purchasing power to actually buy it. If there is a location that is in high demand, it means with high demand, there is scarce supply. So whenever there's more demand than there is supply, the price goes up. If this subdivision that we're using as an example is in high demand, clearly there is not great supply. The fact that this area is one that is sought after, this property is located in a high demand area, a high priced area. And because that is the case, if there is a buyer who is interested in purchasing in that subdivision, they are going to want whatever property is available. No matter how bad the condition is, it carries whatever spoils comes with that neighborhood. That property carries those spoils. Basically, what I'm saying is the biggest attraction is the location. So the price is going to be influenced by the high demand and the fact that there are more buyers than there are supply. So that would explain the law of progression. So basically, you're in a good crowd and your reputation is basically embellished because you are around all these fabulous people. You're not necessarily as great as they are, but you're rubbing shoulders with greats. So people are assuming that you are also great. It's the same concept. Your surroundings reflect you. If your neighborhood is fantastic and you in particular, your property in particular is not that great, it will not sell below what the range is. So if the range is between 200 and 250,000 in value, you are more likely to get at least 200,000 for your property. And even if you get 190,000 for your property, you are not going to get far below what the general average is. The same concept goes for regression. It's just the opposite of progression. If you are in a neighborhood that is low income neighborhood, that the homes are very basic or they're probably not even well kept, you are in a neighborhood that is not desirable, so the values are low. It makes absolutely no sense for you to improve on this property beyond the value that you can get for it. So the same concept goes for, you could have a fabulous property. You put a pool in the backyard, you have outdoor kitchen, you've done so much to the bathroom and the kitchen that if this home was to be lifted up and carried somewhere else, you could get so much for it. But the fact that you're in a neighborhood that does not carry high demand, your property cannot be priced above what the range of properties are. Or even if it is, it cannot go too much beyond the range, because as beautiful as it may be, you are influenced by your environment. So if your environment is yielding low values, your property also will yield low values. And that is the concept of regression. So you're hanging around people who don't have good reputation, people are going to assume you are them. I know my parents used to say, look at your friends and you see you. In wrapping up, what I'm basically saying is, with the law of regression, you have to be careful not to over improve your property, because beyond the range of values within your neighborhood, you will not be able to yield necessarily as much as you have spent to bring your property at a high grade. And so it is with the law of progression, where you may be in a community that is so in high demand that it really suits you not to do anything to your property. I'm not saying I'm encouraging you not to maintain your property, because you will end up yielding the lower end of the range. But if you are in a high demand area and high priced area, you're pretty much okay. You basically have to burn the house down in order to not gain from transactions in the market. I hope I've answered the question about why is location so important in driving property values. And one of the reasons, or two of the concepts, are the concept of progression and the concept of regression. I hope you understand these concepts within the ambits of our discussion regarding property value, the effect of location on these property values. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining the Appraisal Doctor today. I hope you have learned something. If you're not yet a subscriber here, I'm inviting you to subscribe, because here you will have all your real estate, property appraisal, urban planning questions answered here with the Appraisal Doctor. Thank you again for joining, and see you in the next one.